Hello everyone. So in this video we will see how to select a strike based on its premium value. So for example, if you want to select a call option or a put option worth say 100 rupees for selling during the intraday, then how to do that, that is what we are going to see now. Alright, so in the set one entry condition I put a simple condition that I want to take a trade at say time greater than 9:30. So then for that what we have to do is in order to select the strike we have to go to positions filter right on right hand side, click on and. So in this case if I want to sell an option strike of Nifty Bank based on the premium of say 100 rupees, then in that case what I will do is I will just select NFO, I will select call option, we will select underlying as Nifty Bank, let it be an intraday category product. We will select current week. We will also put lots as 1. Since it's an FNO product, we will select lots. And here we will select a strike FX. That is strike formula, right? So in strike FX, we will put a formula. So we will use find strike. Find strike. Under find strike, we will select underlying as Nifty Bank. Nifty Bank. We will select expiry as week, but we will do that later on. We will get the option to select it. Over here in this field, we will select LTP as the condition because we want it to be on premium value. So LTP would be basically the premium that it is currently trading on, and the value will be over here. It will be number. So number is the number of the premium that you want to sell. So if it's 100, then it will sell the premium around 100 rupees. And in this case it's important to always select this particular call option or put option, or it can select a haywire strike. All right, so always make sure that you complete the formula properly. So in this case if I want to select a call option, then I will select CE, and in this case for the results there are three options that you get. So the first one is any. So if you've selected premium value as 100 rupees, right, that you want to sell the option of, then in that case if you select any, it will check the strike that is closest to value 100. So one of the strikes would be trading around say 110, and the other strike would be trading around say 95, whichever is the closest to that particular value 100. That is the strike that will be selected in case if you select any over here. All right, if you select greater, then in that case what it will do is for example, if you put value of 100 and if you select greater, then it will select the closest strike that is greater than the value 100. All right, and if you select lesser, then in that case it will select the closest strike that is less than 100. So for example, if you put 100 and if there is a strike that is trading at say around 92 or 93, then it will select that particular strike and trade in that particular option. All right, and over here remember that there is no option to select a range. So you cannot select a range that it should be between 90 and between 120 or something like that. You cannot have a range. It can either be any, that is it can be either the closest to that particular number, it can either be greater than the number that you specify, or it can be lesser than the number. So in this case let us take an example of selecting lesser. All right, so I'll just click on OK over here. So as you can see now over here we have got the option to select the expiry. I'll just zoom in a little bit for your this thing understanding. So over here I will in expiry I will select week as the expiry, and offset would be 0 because see this is basically current week. If you want to select next week expiry, all right, then in that case you can select it as 1. If you want next to next week expiry, then it can be 2, but we normally we don't go that far. Either it's a current week or the next week. So for current week we will keep the offset as 0. All right, and the LTP number. So in this case the number that we want to select is suppose I want to select a call option strike that is lesser than value 100. So then in that case I will select 100, and in this case I have selected as lesser. All right, so you can select lesser or greater and anything that you want. So in this case we are selecting a strike of call option that is closest or lesser than, that is closest, basically lesser than and closest to the value 100. All right, so I will just select it and I will save it. So right now we have selected a call option that is closest to 100 value, right? So I will show you what happens practically in an example where I have created this particular formula. All right, and similarly if you want to do this for the put option as well, right? So in that case we will see how to do that as well. So in this case I will put sell. Over here I will select NFO, select put option. In this case, underlying will be the same, that is Nifty Bank. Over here we will select intraday MIS, current week. This will be lots 1, and since this is a put option, over here we will select FX and we will select the strike FX. It will be the same formula. Find strike, underlying is Nifty Bank. We will select expiry later on. Again, in the field we will select LTP as the number. In the value we will be using number. So LTP is basically the premium value that we are talking about. In this case, the option that we will be trading is basically the put option, and here we will select lesser than, say, value, certain value that we assign, that is 100. So in this case, again I will select a week as the expiry, current week, and LTP and number will be 100. Alright, so if I do this, as you can see the formula over here, once I zoom in, it is the current week expiry of the put option, which is lesser than put option, which is lesser than number 100, of the value 100. Alright, so once I do that, I will just again update this and I will close it. So now we have added this both conditions of premium 100 for call option, and this is for put option. So we will see what practically happens in this case, right? So this is the example that a strategy that I had created for testing purpose. So as you can see, I am selling an option premium of 100 value in this case. So I will just take you to the edit page of this particular strategy to see what conditions I have put. Right, so this is the first condition where I have just created some kind of a general net quantity and crossover condition for put option, for call option, and over here I am selling the same, that a premium of 100 of call option is what I am selling over here. So in this case we will see what trades it has taken. So as you can see over here in this page, if you see this particular call option, whenever it entered, see the first one sell entry of this call option was at 10:10 a.m. based on the crossover condition, and it sold the value of the option that was lesser than 100, that is 88.2, that is the closest value, that is around 100 but lesser than 100, because that is the parameter that we selected, right? This is the parameter that we selected, that it should be less than 100. So that is the reason why I selected this value. Again, when the condition met, it again chose this particular call option, whichever was trading, right? So whenever this option was trading around whatever price, but it was closest or lesser than 100, then in that case it chose this particular call option. Then after that, when the market started moving lower or things like that, then whatever was the call option. So earlier, first of all, at 10 o'clock it sold, say, this particular option, right? So during the day, whenever this particular call option, this strike was closer. So as you can see, when the 35,300 strike was lesser than 100, so this was closer to minus 100 rather than 35,400 call option. So that is the time when it sold 35,300 call option, as this was the strike that was closest but lesser than 100. So that's how this particular part worked for the call side. Similarly, on the put side, if you see, it has sold at 10:23 a.m. It sold a put option of 85.50, which is closest to 100. But as you can see, at every time at the entry value, right, you will see that the value can be 80, 85, 90 or something like that, but it will never cross 100, because we have specifically said that the value should be less than 100 for call option as well as put option. So that's how this particular formula works. All right, I hope again I have given this example as well. So see, over here also it has sold 86.25 as the closest value that was available. All right, so this is how you can create this formula. You can have 3 different combinations: greater, lesser, and any, and according to that you will be able to generate this particular condition. All right, I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Bye.